So with regard to the capping of interest rates, as ICPAK, we would like to laud the President of Kenya, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, for signing the interest rate bill, which basically is now capping the interest rates. For those who may not be aware, Kenya is now joining almost 76 countries in the world in capping of interest rates. The Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya definitely commends the gesture by the President because he has stood the public interest. We are pleased to note that the head of state has vindicated our earlier position on capping of interest rates. Number one, it is critical that the government deals with its growing appetite for domestic debt and focus on negotiating cheaper loans from external markets to avoid crowding the private sector out of the domestic market. Our second proposal is the national government and the National Assembly need to relook at this bill or generate a new bill that will deal with the same issues under microfinance, Shylocks, and SACCOs, or provide an enabling environment to ensure that implementation of this bill does not affect the vulnerable groups. It's important to note that Kenya is having serious reforms, and we are also encouraging the President and the national government to ensure that the long-awaited bond facility is available. This is a facility which makes available investments almost when you have 3,000 shillings, you can actually invest in bonds through that facility called Akiba Treasury Bond. The Institute lauds the planned employment and deployment of Barasas in all the public institutions by the Ministry of Education. We are in total support of this plan, which, if well implemented, will go a long way in improving governance within the schools. We are very much aware about mismanagement of public resources in schools. And when we have Barasas employed, definitely those are the custodians of our school funds. In light of this, ICPAK appeals to the Cabinet Secretary of Education to consider the following proposals during the hiring of the school Barasas. Number one, Barasas should be qualified accountants and bona fide members of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya. Number two, the school administrators should be accountable to the government as far as expenditure within the budget is concerned and show how high degree of transparency and accountability can be achieved. This basically implies that they should comply with the Constitution and the Public Finance Management Act. What IEBC is trying to do is to control the funding of campaigns. And they publish some guidelines on how much the maximum every candidate should actually spend on campaigns. While appreciating the good intention behind these regulations, we cannot afford to sit on our laurels. We therefore recommend complete transparency of accounts through sound accountability. Each party and candidate should be required to present to the Campaign Finance Committee of IEBC its audited financial statements with acceptable timelines.